on boobs.
Boobies.
Yeah, there's so many of you guys that are interested in the cost of a boob job, what it looks like, maybe even like if you have a boyfriend, what he should expect. We did like a TikTok. Our literal first TikTok ever was what your boyfriend should expect when you get a breast augmentation, and our first video ever hit 1.1 million. So that just shows you like how many people are interested in getting a breast augmentation.
And like she said, we got this done a while, well, coming up
April
on a year.
1st.
Coming up on a year.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So almost a year now, which is crazy to think because, I mean, we've almost been in Houston a year. It just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got them done, or
we got them
done. She got them done. So she got them done back in April, like she said, and we went through the process of obviously getting them done, the healing process, what I had to do, the things she was limited to doing. So really the whole consensus of this video is to give some of our female viewers out there, if you are interested in at any point getting an augmentation, what to expect, how the process was that Audrey's gonna go into detail, how it was for her from like maybe consultation to actually getting the procedure done, what doctor she went to, and then a little inside view into how absolutely insane being like literally, I was trying to say something, make it more intense than it was.
So first off, I think, you know, for a lot of you females, like you don't have to justify why you want to get a breast augmentation. If you want to have bigger boobs, then like more power to you.
Yeah.
Literally. Like
I mean, I love that. Oh my God.
Oh, making our viewers uncomfortable. But it was, you know, just something that I had wanted to do for a while, and it was kind of like the right timing to do it. So, and especially coming off of a bodybuilding show, I was literally like not even an A. I never needed to wear a bra. It was like nothing there.
Yeah, she was, in fact, you were the president of the Itty Bitty Titty.
I was president of Itty Bitty Titty, and I rocked it. Don't get me wrong, like I still sometimes am like, oh man, I kind of miss like having small boobs. Like something about it was empowering in a sense, which sounds dumb, but anyways, getting more into the breast augmentation. So we moved here, or I moved here in February. He moved in March. And then April 1st, I decided to get them done with Dr. Vasu, who is in Houston. He has his Cypress location and then a Post Oak location, which is a little bit newer, but all of the breast augmentations are done, or the bigger surgeries are done at the Cypress location. So reached out to him, did a consult, and then was like, let's run it up. Vasu has actually written textbooks on how to perform a proper breast augmentation for other surgeons. So he's like the end all be all when it comes to breast augmentations. And his crew was freaking amazing too. So went in there, kind of just like sent them pictures of what I was looking for. They also they kind of let you know like, look, Basu's gonna go in there, he's gonna put in the implant size that you want. Like you can even take the actual implants when you go in for your consult and put them in a sports bra so you can kind of like look around and get a feel for it, which was really weird. So I decided to go with 425cc, and then they ended up putting, I think, 400 in my right, since I already had a little bit more tissue in there just to even it out. But you know, if I would have said 500, Basu would have went in there, he would have put that in, and if he thought that I wouldn't like it or it was gonna be way too big for my frame, he wouldn't have done it, which is amazing. So you kind of have to trust him to use his own judgment. But went in for the the consultation, and it was $6,000, which I think I ended up getting it during like a promotion or something, because I know people that have gone to him now and it's more expensive. I don't know the pricing now, so if it's something you're interested in, you'll definitely have to reach out just to get a general idea of pricing there. But I ended up paying $6,000. I financed it, I put about half of it, just paid it off, and then the other half on a credit card. And it was pretty seamless. I mean, it was very easy. I went in, I think like a week later.
Yeah, like she got the consultation because she was always curious about her, like wanted to do it. She even like talked to me like months prior. She's like, yeah, like she almost even got an augmentation a few years ago.
I was I was 18.
Yeah, she was a young, but she didn't go through with it at the time.
Right.
So it was always on her mind. And you know, being a bodybuilding competitor, it's, you know, to have a surgery, you obviously can't use your upper body, you can't lift for a little bit. So
it had to be the right timing.
Yeah, right timing wasn't much of a priority. So yeah, she got the consultation. I remember she drove out there to do it, and I was like, okay, she'll get the consultation. Maybe she'll get it done in like, you know, maybe a few months or so. And then she calls me and she's like, baby, I'm getting it next week. So
yeah, it was pretty, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But they just happen to have an opening, and like, I mean, you're already excited, so I was like, let's just run it up. It's a good timing. So yeah, the week later, I go in there, and they literally just like Mason dropped me off. There was a few little things I had to do prior. You know, I had to go in fasted. I couldn't take specific medications. I had to stop taking fish oil for a little bit, like very specifics. I had to take off all of my nail polish.
You couldn't like smoke weed either.
Couldn't smoke weed, can't vape or anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had to take off all my nail polish because it's something to do with like your circulation, I wanna say, like the color of your nails. So I had to take that off. No makeup or anything. So just very interesting, you know, the little nuances that you don't really think of. But anyways, Mason dropped me off. It was really early in the morning and I'm in there, I'm in a robe, sitting in the bed, and the lady's like, all right, are you ready? And I was like, I guess. I'm a little nervous. They had an IV in me already. And so she's wheeling me out. She's like, all right, sweetie, we're gonna put this, whatever they put, anesthesia, probably to knock you out in the IV. I'm like, okay. So then all of a sudden they're wheeling me through the outpatient thing. And they're like, you doing okay? I'm like, yep. And I passed out. That's all I remember. And next thing you know, I wake up, I've got some boobs on me. I was in pain, but I was like also just so out of it. I mean, you're so drugged up. And Mason was there to pick me up. I remember them wheeling me out. My face is all swollen, all like out of it. And they open up the car door and just like kind of stick me in there.
Plop her in there. And we actually have a video kind of her getting in the car and like that like initial she gets out of surgery earlier on our channel. You guys can check that out. It's a few months back now. But it was funny because as soon as she gets in the car, they're like, obviously, you know, you just got chest surgery, so you know, don't lift your arms up, don't do anything. She gets in the car, she's all kind of like drugged up and she's like she's fixing her hair. Hands above her eyes, she's like, oh, it hurts. It's so bad. I'm like, shouldn't you not be doing that?
Yeah, I remember like it hurt, but I was like, I looked like a mess, and I knew we were filming.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I need to look good though.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And so then we ended up, he picked me up like some crumble cookies, which is so nice, and a smoothie. Yeah, a smoothie. And then we got back that day and I was pretty much just drugged for the rest of the day. I will say though, looking back in hindsight, there were moments where I would wake up in the middle of the night or I would wake up in the morning, and because the pain medicine had worn off, I was in excruciating pain. And it's not like the pain from the incision necessarily, like that hurts, but compared to the pain of your muscles just being ripped, that was painful. So I ended up doing over and under the muscle. I forget the technique that it's considered, but it helps to make it look more natural, but still be higher profile, what they consider like where you can still see them, you know, they're not down below. So that is what I ended up going with, and it was the gummy bear silicone, which again is a little bit more natural, and I think it's just better for you versus like saline or just the normal silicone. So that day just slept pretty much the entire day. You were working a little bit, yeah. And he at the time was actually living downstairs still. Carly was my roommate. So they kind of just had to like kind of take care of me. He was so good throughout the process. But yeah, there were like things that I couldn't do. Like
yeah, like and we actually have a TikTok, and we'll probably throw the TikTok in here as well. But obviously she couldn't like reach up and grab anything. I had to like help her put some of her pants on in the beginning, you know, wash her hair when she couldn't get in the shower for that first week. So there's like a lot of things, and especially with like she said, when she was in pain, like we couldn't cuddle at all. Like our bread and butter is like cuddling before, like she can't go to bed properly without me being on her and like cuddling her for a second.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I need like to feel his warmth and like body against me on my back. Like that's how we go to sleep every single night.
Right.
So it was an adjustment. I had to literally sit up like almost straight in bed for what, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. So it was like, and then like she said in the middle of the night, she would get like pain. I remember like kind of in the middle of the night, sometimes she'd like try to be adjusting and like groaning and like just like and like she was like, she has like a high pain tolerance, so she's like, I don't need to like take these medications. I'm gonna try and stop taking them 2 or 3 days in. And then like right away she's like, all right,
I need more. Yeah, that's so that was going back and like what I was just talking about, looking back in hindsight, stay on top of your pain medication. Even if you think you have a high pain tolerance or you want to tough it out, like it's not worth it. So I would say take it for like the first 5 days for sure, and just take it even when you don't feel the pain yet. If it's been a certain amount of time and they say, hey, you can take it again, go ahead and take it regardless. Because I would be like, oh, I don't feel that much pain, like it's tolerable. And then all of a sudden it really starts to wear off, and then it's like, it's not tolerable.
And then you're in like a threshold where like you have this pain, then you take your meds, you're just waiting for the meds to hit. So it's like she said, just be on top of it.
Yeah, so that was a big thing. And then eventually I got to the point where I could just take extra strength Tylenol after I think I did 4 days of pain medication.
Yeah.
Some weird little like symptoms and things to expect though, which I was so like thrown off from, was my stomach inflamed inflamed. Like you'll see in the TikTok here, it was especially like just wide, you know, and I've got a very small waist and a frame. So like my whole stomach would just look like a box. And right below where the surgery was, because they cut you open, and it's a form of trauma on your body, there's gonna be like oxygen and little like air bubbles in there. So we could push on my stomach and you could feel like popping, like little like weird. Yeah, you could hear it too.
Super strange.
It was very strange. And so yeah, he had to help me like get dressed, and if I had to like reach for like a mug or a cup, like I could not do it. I could do this maybe. Even flushing the toilet was hard. Brushing my teeth, instead of like being able to go like this, you have to like move your head and just keep your arms still. It's like the small things that you don't think of that was really a challenge.
So on top of this as well, doctor recommends like you can't have sex for 4 weeks.
Was it 4 to 6?
4 to 6 weeks or something like that, which for us is that's
a long
insane.
time. Yeah,
long time.
A very long time. If you guys watched our Tipsy Q&A, like usually every day, so it was a big adjustment for us, especially because we didn't live together at the time, so we even saw each other less, you know. So when we saw each other, we wanted big squeezes and cuddles, and yeah, so that was really tough. And especially like you said, like me sleeping upright was also weird. So that was probably one of the hardest, was having to sleep upright, obviously being in pain too, but just like not being able to be intimate and to like hold and stuff, especially when you're in pain, that's all you want.
Right.
So that was tough. And as far as working out goes, I couldn't train for 4 weeks. I will say though, about 3.5 weeks, I was in the gym and I was doing very light lower body machine work, very, very light, like 20 reps for everything. And then after 6 weeks, they say you can start doing upper body, but I wanted to be very careful with that because it can actually shift and come out of its pocket, which you don't want. So I was doing, probably at 6 weeks, I was doing like 10-pound dumbbell shoulder presses and just like 15-pound rows, like very, very light movement, and that was nice. And then steps was kind of like when I wasn't drugged up, I would try and get some movement in on the treadmill. That was kind of how that went. So another little like funny story here was that we went to,
this was 2 weeks post-operation. We went to check out Austin for the first time with some friends.
Yeah, and so I still have to be very careful, but again, I'm a little bit more like careless and whatever. So we go to Austin, had quite a few drinks, and we're on the Bird, and at this point it's probably 2 a.m. or, you know, intoxicated. Yeah, we're zooting around with our friends and trying to get back to our Airbnb, and next thing you know, I see this like and all the little bumps and stuff that really hurt, and I see this like dip in the sidewalk, and I was like, oh boy, I'm like kind of bracing myself, and I realized I wasn't braking, I was gassing it because I just, you know, I wasn't in my right mind there. So I'm gassing it and I hit this like downward hill that went back up, and next thing you know, the scooter flies off to the side. I'm literally in the air like this, and for some reason, I don't catch myself on my hands. I literally fall directly onto my boobs, scrape my knee, scrape my hands.
It was a sight to see, to say the least. So I mean, I didn't see it, but I just heard like just a noise that you knew that like, oh shit, someone fell off their scooter. And then you heard like a little bit of a slide, and then our friend Justin actually saw her do that. That's how she could recall how she was flying through the air. And he thought it was hilarious. But I turn around and then I see her on the ground, and then she's like kind of like on the ground, like rolling and like kind of like, oh, like I fell, like, oh, laughing.
I was laughing because
I was
like, I'll play it off.
And I'm like, oh shit. And so I go back over there. Obviously I know that she just got obviously her procedure done. I'm like, oh, this is not fucking good. So I go over there, and then everyone's kind of coming by. She's like, she's like, I'm good, I'm okay. Gets up. Everyone's like kind of like starts to get back on there. She kind of like move the other way. And then she comes into me for a hug, and she's like, oh, she starts crying.
Bawling.
And I was like, all right, there it is, like, let it out. And then we scooted back home, and then as soon as we got home, we got back up into our bedroom at the Airbnb to go to bed. Yeah, she started crying again. She's like, oh, they hurt so bad.
It was a lot of pain. Luckily, everything obviously turned out fine, but just be careful. Like, do not do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. Although I'm fine now, it was not worth some of the pain, and I think it extended my recovery time for sure. And then we ended up going to a music festival 4 weeks after my surgery. So I really pushed the limits as far as what I could have done in my recovery process.
Right.
But as far as recovery now and like how long it took me to fully recover, I would say after 6 weeks, things were pretty fine. You know, some movements still felt kind of weird. I had to still be careful. After 12 weeks, you can pretty much do what you want. Again, like for me, lat pull down, if I'm pulling like 120 pounds on a lat pull down, I can feel my right one kind of shift up when I hit a, you know, a certain point. Skull crushers sometimes still feel weird. So there's still some movements that you have to kind of be aware of. I'm not doing any chest movements. I started to incorporate incline bench, but I had so many girls reach out and be like, don't do that. They can shift, they can move, it's not worth it. So stopped doing chest altogether, unfortunately, because I love to bench, but it's just not worth it. And so now I'm extremely happy with the results. I think it took, gosh, like 4 months, maybe 4 or 5 months for them to fully start to settle in, maybe even 6 months, to be honest. Because at first they were like rocks and you're like, oh God, like you're happy because you got boobs, but they were.
Yeah, they were like, it looked like someone just bolted them on there.
Yeah, they were just sitting so high up, they're close together, and then eventually they started to really fall, and I would say they look fairly natural now, which is amazing. And I'm so bony up here, so like, of course you can still tell they're implants if I like have my clothes off, but like, I'm so happy with the results of them. Wouldn't take it back for anything. Haven't had any weird symptoms or signs or anything like that, so all in all, I would highly recommend if you are considering getting a breast augmentation, like do it because you want to, don't do it for any external reasons, don't do it because, you know, somebody else is feeling pressured from someone else, like do it because you want to and because it'll make you happy. So
100%.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up.
That does. So, I mean, thank you for tuning into this video. Like we said, we'll also link Dr. Basu's office and information, social media, all that stuff below so you guys can check out the same doctor she used. Again, highly recommended. I actually met the guy, super genuine dude.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And yeah, so that's what we got. If you want more content like this, want to hear maybe some other things that maybe you thought about while you were watching this video, that want to hear more on this, we're more than happy to do more videos in the future.
Yeah, and go ahead and shoot me a message too if you're curious. I get messages all the time and I'm happy to help and answer any questions that you might have. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will have a video next week for you guys on what it looks like as an entrepreneur, as online coaches, a day in the life. So be on the lookout for that, and we will catch you guys in the next video.
Peace.